Kevin Feige's the brains behind the MCU movies and TV shows. Since 2007, he's been the president of Marvel Studios and the main producer of the MCU. All of us have seen at least one of his cinematic masterpieces, which includes the Black Panther sequel and some of his more popular characters, such as Scarlet Witch. Now, in this video, we're gonna look at his views on both the movie and the beloved Miss Wanda. First off, what did Kevin Feige have to say about the importance of Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever? In a video about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said that the sequel truly feels like the most significant movie they've ever created. As for why the movie is so important and how Coogler went about making it, the director said that it's a movie that asks how to move on after losing someone. He said that it was more of a legacy movie and that they did their best to capture the magic that Boseman offered. Coogler and the cast of Black Panther 2 had to do the same things off-screen as they did on-screen. This included visiting Chadwick Boseman's grave and continuing to respect the actor's legacy while promoting the movie. When talking about paying tribute to the late actor, Feige mentioned that the sequel is a real-life tribute to Chadwick's legacy. It also shows the hope that Wakanda always stands for. Ryan Coogler had to work hard to find this balance, but even though it was hard, his cast has nothing but good things to say about him and how he led them. Angela Bassett, who is playing Queen Ramonda again, also talked about the director's big heart and skill as a storyteller in a promotional video for Marvel. Next up, why is this movie likely to be one of the best Marvel films? From what we've heard about Black Panther 2, it sounds like Marvel Studios and Coogler told another powerful story, keeping up the franchise's legacy of stories and messages that strike a chord within us. Some of us will say that the MCU has already dealt with death in movies like Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home. But Wakanda Forever is different because it's based on real life. Not only did the Black Panther franchise lose its main character, but it also lost its main actor, who was just as uplifting and important as T'Challa. And just like their characters in the movie, the actors were also going through this loss. If Wakanda Forever can turn these real-life events into another story that inspires, the franchise will have done more than just entertain. And while that would be enough to back up Feige's claim about how important it is, it's also important to note that grief isn't the only central element Black Panther 2 wants to talk about. Black Panther, which came out in 2018, was a turning point for how Black people were shown on screen. The sequel hopes to do the same with Tenochtitlan's Namor and his kingdom of Talokan, which is based on Mesoamerica. Given how many important ideas and themes Coogler brought up in this movie, it's no surprise that Kevin Feige thinks it's the most important story in the MCU so far. Let's talk about how Black Panther 2 will look like without Chadwick Boseman. The movie might be coming back, but it won't be the same without Boseman, that's for sure. The producers of the movie decided not to use CGI or visual effects to bring Chadwick back. They didn't want to dishonor his memory in any way and tried to respect his legacy as much as possible. Chadwick will always be the king of the Black Panther team. We were all holding our breaths in the days leading up to the release of the film, and now that it's finally here, we're dying to see what the producers have come up with. As a follow-up to T'Challa's death, the movie shows how the other characters work together in his memory to keep Wakanda going even after he's gone. People say that King T'Challa gets sick and dies, and that the story goes on after he dies. The director of the Black Panther movies, Ryan Coogler, and the vice president of development, Nat Moore, decided that King T'Challa would not return. He would still be a part of the Marvel Comics universe, but he wouldn't have a direct role. Instead, the other superheroes would talk about him. Coogler says that not putting anyone else in the role of King T'Challa was the hardest decision he has ever had to make at work. The importance of T'Challa's role in the Marvel Comics universe showed that Boseman loved what he did, so no one else could take his place. Let's head to the next portion of our video. Now, what does Feige have in mind for Scarlet Witch? Kevin Feige also says that Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch may have more to offer in the MCU. Scarlet Witch is one of the most well-known characters in the MCU. Both she and actress Elizabeth Olsen seem to be getting more and more fans. Even though Scarlet Witch was shown as a villain in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, fans still want to see more of her, and Kevin Feige hinted that they might get their wish. Some people didn't like that Olsen was in Doctor Strange 2. Some people thought Wanda's character development was backward and went against her WandaVision character arc, and others thought her role as an antagonist fit the character, who has been a hero, a villain, an anti-hero, and everything in between. Most people seem to agree, though, that Olsen isn't to blame, and they think she did a great job. At the end of Doctor Strange 2, Scarlet Witch seemed to die to make up for her mistakes, but some people didn't think this was the end of her story or character. Moving on, what has Feige hinted so far about a possible future storyline? Even though he doesn't say that Wanda will be back, it's clear from what Feige says that the studio isn't done with her character. Olsen has talked about the rumors about the Scarlet Witch. She said that she'd love to come back, but she hasn't been told anything. She further said that if the character is coming back, she hasn't heard from the studio yet, but because the studio's so secretive, she doesn't know what will happen to her as the character. Olsen has also defended the Scarlet Witch against claiming that she's a bad person. She says that even though Wanda does a lot of bad things in Multiverse of Madness, she's just dealing with hard feelings and learns a lesson in the end. These comments could also mean that the character might come back in the future to make up for what she did wrong. If she learned a lesson, she'll probably be forgiven in some way. And then there are the Scarlet Witch's kids, Tommy and Billy Maximoff, who are important members of the Young Avengers. The characters haven't been brought back into the main MCU storyline yet, but when they do, the Scarlet Witch will probably be mentioned. The Young Avengers also have a storyline called Children's Crusade, in which they look for Wanda Maximoff, who's thought to be dead. If the Scarlet Witch comes back, this could be turned into a movie. Finally, for a little about Wanda's character in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Since we have all the devoted Marvel fans right here, you all probably know this, but let's do a quick recap on her character portrayal in the movie. Elizabeth Olsen's ongoing role as Wanda in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, was another great one, but Wanda seemed to die at the end of the movie when she crushed herself with Wundagore Mountain to destroy the Darkhold. So we may have witnessed the last of her in the MCU, or maybe not. Some people think Wanda lived after Wundagore fell down. During the collapse of the mountain, if you look closely, you can see a red flash of power among the rubble. This could be seen as Wanda's death or as her staying alive. Wanda is likely to show up again in some way, given how much fans like the character and how well the MCU has done in the past. This is especially true now that the multiverse has been brought up. We don't know if we'll see Wanda as she is in the main universe, or Wanda from a different universe. Fans have been asking for a Scarlet Witch movie for a long time, and Olsen has said that she would love to be in more MCU projects. She had said before that she would love to be in a movie based on a certain X-Men comic story. At the next D23 event, which will take place from September 9th to 11th, more MCU projects will be announced, so don't be shocked if a Scarlet Witch solo movie is formally confirmed. That's all for this video. Are you excited about the sequel of Black Panther? And what are your thoughts on a Scarlet Witch focused show? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.